You're watching Super 18, WVTV Milwaukee. And now, the 9 o'clock nightly news.
Presidential politics hit a fevered pitch as Wisconsin enters the final stretch to primary Tuesday. Good evening, everyone. I'm Liz Talbot.
And I'm Dwayne Gay. Democrat Jerry Brown in Milwaukee tonight. We'll talk to him live in just a couple of minutes. But first, Bill Clinton also made it to Milwaukee today to raise some money and some issues. Here's Mark Leland.
Time and Jerry Brown are the only two things going against Democratic frontrunner Bill Clinton in Wisconsin. The race for president has Clinton putting in a very long day, getting in touch with the people.
Thank you for being here.
And trying to downplay opponent Jerry Brown, attacking him primarily on his 13% flat tax proposal, which independent analysts agree would raise taxes for the poor and middle class.
And when people in this state get this Jerry's tax proposal, when they realize what an incredibly awful thing it is, they are not going to vote for that. And I call upon the voters of Wisconsin to say, we know snake oil from good ideas when we see it, and we're going to reject that on April the 7th.
Many of the state's more prominent Democrats offered their support and money to Clinton at a downtown fundraiser for the candidate in Milwaukee. The Clinton campaign got about a $50,000 boost.
As far as getting the nomination, he is very well along his way. It would be very difficult to stop Bill Clinton at this time.
Good luck, Governor. Good luck. I'll have that luck if you help me too.
During Clinton's Milwaukee travels, he was surrounded by supporters, under a careful eye by Secret Service, and never out of sight by a dozen camera crews, even when he talked up the campaign over lunch at Grandma Emma's in Bayview.
Ask her to vote for me, will you?
We were kind of curious to see what he looked like and how he talked. He sounds just like he does on TV.
Usually our lunch hours are pretty hectic, but this is more crazy than a regular lunch hour. But it's fun.
Clinton says his America would reinvest in new technologies to keep wages high, unemployment low. He's optimistic his ideas are getting through.
I think my positive message is getting out. I think people want a new politics for the 90s that puts our people first and restores the middle class and reclaims our economic leadership. That's what I stand for.
Bill Clinton has already put in 8 hours today on the campaign trail, but the campaigning has really just begun. From Milwaukee, he goes to Green Bay and then Stevens Point before finishing up in New York tonight. He'll be back in Milwaukee on Monday. Mark Leland for the 9 o'clock nightly news.
Clinton took the day shift, Jerry Brown takes the night shift.
Jerry Brown is in Wisconsin after a long day in New York. He's expected at Turner Hall in downtown Milwaukee momentarily, and when he arrives, he'll be joining us live here on the 9 o'clock nightly news.
There is one person you don't need to ask twice who should be our next president. Bernice Brown knows the answer right away. That, of course, is her son, Jerry. Mom was campaigning today in Milwaukee for her favorite candidate. The 83-year-old Mrs. Brown told residents Jerry should be president because he's more experienced than the other candidates and cares more about their future.
I just think, you're asking the wrong or the right person to ask Mother why our son should be president. I mean, I just think he would be not a good president, a great president.
Mrs. Brown says Jerry's been a very good son, and she's proud of his accomplishments. President George Bush was also on the road today, but he wasn't trying to make friends, at least not with the nation's lawmakers. Bush was in Philadelphia, where he proposed a 6-point plan to make Congress more responsive to the needs of Americans. It includes shorter sessions so lawmakers can spend more time in their home states, a ban on special interest donations, and limits on lawmaker terms.
And I believe senators should be limited to 2 terms and representatives limited to 6 terms. And as president, my terms are limited. The same rules should apply to members of the Congress. Our first concern should be the country, not the lifetime of political career.
Outside, meantime, the crowd was less receptive to the president's visit. More than 1,500 protesters chanted and held signs reading, "I need a job," and "Lay off Bush."
Coming up tonight in this newscast, an animal from the wilderness is brought up in captivity. Can the beast go back to the wilds and survive?
But first tonight, the mystery of the disappearing plane comes to a sad end.
Tonight's news is brought to you by Pick and Save.
He says,
stop right here.
Pick and Save's the spot to tune into for low prices and the best selection. This week, 4-roll packages of Kleenex bath tissue are just $2 for $1.58. Single-roll Buyer's Choice paper towels are $4 for only $1.28. And Kraft Parquet margarine is $2 for 38 cents. Pick and Save saves you money. Get the picture?
As young and tender as premium young and tender brand all-natural chicken. No hormones, no preservatives. So stop doing that funky chicken, baby, and do what comes naturally. Do the chicken, young and tender chicken. Do the chicken.
As the two-term governor of California, they called him an outsider because Jerry Brown refused the perks of office and wouldn't take a pay raise. Against conventional wisdom, he took California from the 5th highest tax state to the 24th. He tripled aid to California's public schools and created 25% of all the jobs in the nation, over 2 million new jobs for California. When he left office, Newsweek wrote, "It is unlikely the state will ever have a more scrupulously honest governor."
Quite a serious crash, and the airplane is, heavily damaged.
For John Norquist, being mayor is about helping people, so he started the New Hope Project to get people off welfare. And Norquist has provided jobs for our kids and closed down drug houses. Maybe that's why the Milwaukee Journal calls him an action mayor. And on crime, just listen to the DA.
Mayor Norquist has provided immensely effective leadership in the fight against crime. Talk about the drug abatement program, more officers on the street, speedy trial courts. That's John Norquist, and that's effective leadership.
A great adventure awaits you in the land where Dances with Wolves was filmed. Dakota, South Dakota. Millions of acres in 4 national parks majestically surround you. And then awesome, towering Mount Rushmore. And Crazy Horse, monument in the making. This is adventure. The great faces, great places of Dakota, South Dakota.
Quality Broyhill Furniture Gallery overstock. Factory authorized price reductions plus no payment till next year. Only at Calder's, we save you money.
Federal investigators combed through a wheat field tonight looking for clues to a fatal crash in Port Washington.
One body has been recovered so far. For the past 72 hours, the Civil Air Patrol and the Coast Guard have been looking for a lost Cessna aircraft said to be headed toward Waukegan or Sheboygan. It took some sharp eyes on the ground to finally get some answers.
Fortunately, we don't run into these things very often, but we, of course, proceed conservatively, and we make every effort to coordinate things and cooperate with the FAA. Certainly, quite a serious crash, and the airplane is, heavily damaged. And
the town of Port Washington is reeling tonight over the discovery of what's left of a Cessna 182 found in a field. The plane took off from Timmerman Field at about 5 p.m. Tuesday. The skies turned snowy when the plane, said to be carrying 2 people, disappeared into the night. It was found at about 2:30 this afternoon, after more than 45 people participated in air and ground teams, flying, hiking, and searching through airports for the plane and its passengers. 30 members of the Civil Air Patrol were at the crash site today. Investigators plan to work through the night here. The crash site takes up about a 5-acre area. Apparently, the pilot was on his way to Sheboygan to sell the plane when he ran into trouble. He didn't have a flight plan, so the Civil Air Patrol didn't have much to go on.
We've been working with leads from the general public, and we had a lead from the gentleman who lives on the farm across the way who said that he thought he saw something. So we sent in an air crew and a ground crew to confirm this.
The farmer contacted the Civil Air Patrol this morning, but didn't want to talk on camera tonight. The plane crashed in a field close to what's called the Ozaki Airstrip, but so far there's no evidence the plane was trying to land there.
We'll proceed ahead slowly and cautiously and make sure that everything is thorough and done properly.
The Ozaki County Sheriff's Department is not releasing names of the missing pilot or the possible passenger until the investigation is complete. That investigation will continue tomorrow, and I should point out the Civil Air Patrol is very appreciative of all the help of just civilians who called in with ideas, clues to where they think that plane may have gone.
That was an exhaustive search for the past couple of days. Families of passengers killed by a terrorist bomb on Pan Am Flight 103 are helping to test airport security on their own, and today the test failed. Glenn and Carol Johnson were surprised, then angry, after they smuggled a piece of plastic explosive from Boston to Pittsburgh aboard a U.S. Air jet. Their daughter was killed on the flight over Lockerbie.
We went, we just casually put this on the conveyor belt. As we walked through, and about the same time this would have been passing through the x-ray machine, I noticed that the girl who was at the monitor seemed to be looking off, either at another monitor or down the corridor. I don't know. All I know is her eyes were not on that machine.
The bomb experiment is part of an unannounced effort to test the claim that security has improved since the explosion of Flight 103. 5,000 people in Rhode Island received letters telling them they had tested positive for AIDS. The trouble is, the letters aren't the real thing. They were sent out by the Rhode Island AIDS Project to promote a fundraiser. The hard-hitting opening line telling the reader he or she had AIDS was followed by a line saying, "Imagine the impact these words would have on you." The letter had impact. Many who received it became very angry and phoned in their objections. The AIDS Project is apologizing tonight.
I know there was talk today of a cold, semi-miserable weekend. Bad news.
But some of that talk has evaporated. I think it may be nice after all. Marlon knows. Let's check in with him now. Marlon?
Now, you're not complaining, are you?
No, no.
All right. That screamer that we had been watching turned into kind of a whimper instead of a scream. And we got a little bit of light rain. We will get a little bit more light rain, but we look like we're going to get a lovely weekend. Now, take a look at some of these low temperatures around the state this morning. Freezing up in Duluth Superior, 28 in Green Bay, as cold as 27 degrees this morning in Madison, but everybody warmed up nicely, including us. We warmed up to 49 degrees here, 46 in Green Bay, 47 in Wausau, 48 in La Crosse, as warm as 58 degrees out in La Crosse. Take a look at the digital radar, and this goes back to 2 o'clock this afternoon. You can see a lot of rain and thunder showers over portions of Illinois, and the odd shower pop up over there. See, right there, just west of Oshkosh, it looks like. And there are some showers just to the north of us around the Oshkosh area, and they will be moving through our area for about the next couple of hours, and then a great weekend. At least I hope so. I'll tell you all about it, plus the weather around the country a little bit later in the show. Now back to the studio.
All right, we see you a bit later, Marlon. Bear cubs are cute, but they grow up to be dangerous. This week, DNR officials found a bear cub living illegally in a Milwaukee home. Victoria Ray tells us the cub's owners pleaded ignorance, but officials say that's no excuse.
This 3-month-old bear cub is now spending his days and nights at the Wisconsin Humane Society. Wednesday, DNR investigators found him at this house on the south side of Milwaukee.
Unless you have a license from the Department of Natural Resources to have a live wild animal, which wasn't the case here, it's illegal to have something like that.
Judy Bannock, who took care of the cub with her family the past 3 weeks, says she didn't know she was doing anything illegal.
I know that now. I didn't know it then. I thought as long as we had it in the house and we only had it for a couple of weeks, there was no problem.
Bannock says the cub was obtained from a game farm up north. She planned to apply for a license, but hadn't done it yet. She says the family thought he was cute. Ben, as they called him, even got along with the family dog.
Just like a baby. Just like a baby.
This little bear cub may look adorable now, but by fall he'll weigh about 75 pounds. And by the time he's full grown, he'll weigh between 450 and 500 pounds.
He isn't going to lead a normal life at all now. He belongs up in the North Woods right now, hibernating with his mother, and this is a real bad situation, and we're just going to try to make the best of it. Maybe get him in a place where he'll lead a fairly happy life.
This bear cub is not able to be placed in the wild now because it could introduce diseases. It will most likely end up at a game farm or a zoo. Victoria Ray for the 9 o'clock Nightly News.
DNR officials are continuing to investigate. The Bannocks could face a $2,000 fine and 6 months in jail. Coming up tonight, it's Hot Phones Friday. Who do you plan to vote for in the presidential primary? We'll take your calls live later on in our program. We also intend to talk live with Jerry Brown as soon as he arrives in downtown Milwaukee. And coming up tonight, who says age brings boredom along with it? Not this thrill-seeking granny.
Oh, no. First tonight, River West residents looking to save a piece of the environment lose out to the almighty green.
The whole town's talking about capacity days.
And it's only 7 days. I hear it's bigger and better than ever. And they even have deferred billing. Really?
Capacity days. 7 big days of the lowest prices of the season.
Look what you started.
Why is Tim Dugan running negative ads and distorting Chuck Kahn's record? He talks tough on TV, but the fact is Tim Dugan has never prosecuted or defended a single criminal case. Not one. Chuck Kahn has 17 years of criminal trial experience and a plan to improve Milwaukee's courts and crack down on violent criminals. The choice is clear. Negative ads and no experience, or Chuck Kahn. Endorsed by the Sentinel and law enforcement leaders as the most qualified, Chuck Kahn for judge.
A great adventure awaits you in the land where Dances with Wolves was filmed. Dakota, South Dakota. Millions of acres in 4 national parks majestically surround you. And then awesome, towering Mount Rushmore. And Crazy Horse, monument in the making. This is adventure. The great faces, great places of Dakota, South Dakota.
Steinhoffel's Spring Home Sale ends Monday night at 9. Hurry in for great savings with no interest and no payments until July. Steinhoffel.
The whole town's talking about capacity days.
Amazing! The best ever.
Lowest prices of the season.
And only 7 days.
Capacity days. 7 big days of the lowest prices of the season, now through Monday.
That'll keep Mom out of trouble.
Jimmy's at Rankin Son Buick GMC. Special $1,000 rebates on GMC Jimmy's now at Rankin Son, 4200 North Green Bay Avenue. $1,000 rebates on Jimmy's now at Rankin Son.
Ready, Wisconsin? Time for show and tell. The Milwaukee Realtors Home and Garden Show. This is no ordinary show and tell. Thousands of experts ready to share ideas. They'll show you and tell you everything you want to know about your home. Wisconsin's largest, bursting with all the excitement of spring. Come celebrate a Milwaukee tradition, the Milwaukee Realtors Home and Garden Show, State Fair Park. Show and tell for big people. March 27th through April 5th.
Colleen Ryan, she's not one of the boys. Qualified? Yes. City Hall insider? No.
That's why Friends of Colleen Ryan paid for this announcement.
Looking for a different candidate for president? Someone who actually has a serious plan to move us forward and put people first? Like ending tax breaks for corporations that move our jobs overseas, but new incentives to invest here in America, sweeping education reform, job training, affordable health care, moving people from welfare to work, fighting for the forgotten middle class. It's about a real commitment to healing racial divisions, uniting this country to compete and win again. That's the plan of a different candidate. His name, Bill Clinton. Yes, the real Bill Clinton.
Mr. Williams' phone? No, he's not in his office. What? Oh, the helium balloon. So you're the banana man. Yes, it arrived first thing. Oh, it's very clever. I didn't know you could do that with a balloon. I can't wait to see the look on his face when he gets back. Tomorrow, from L.A. Mr. Peel? Mr. Peel?
A project that will spoil the river landscape or a business boon that will create jobs badly needed for the inner city.
Depends on who you talk to. But anyway, today the Common Council officially settled the fight over development of Humboldt Yards. Lauren Bishop tells us it hasn't eased the bitter taste.
Lynn Sabotic owns a specialty store just down the street from Humboldt Yards. She gained a new neighbor today, but she's been fighting it for the last 4 years.
It puts the existing businesses at risk, and I think that that's happening at a time when all the business areas surrounding the project are losing renters and people are moving to the suburbs.
Today, the Common Council gave the go-ahead for the CMC Corporation to develop Humboldt Yards into a 13-acre shopping complex. It'll be complete with apartments and a medical facility. The 300-plus jobs the project will create proved to be the main selling point.
It's going to bring added values to my district. It's going to bring jobs. It's going to have like a domino effect.
But today's decision doesn't end a 4-year-long struggle that's pitted the corporation in a bitter battle against neighborhood and environmental groups.
My concern is that besides destroying the natural areas, which are vital and important, after all, this is an environmental decade, we know what's happening throughout the world. This corporation comes in, it'll have an adverse effect on...
Today, some council members acknowledged they were taking a risk by endorsing the CMC development plan. But as one council member put it, when the decision rests on jobs or the environment, he'll take the jobs.
Maybe that those people, those 304 people that this development will employ, it will be their first job. Maybe they can go on and do better from that.
And the corporation says they've already given major concessions to special interest.
This project has and will provide substantial green space. There will be access to the river to connect to a river walk in the event the city develops a river walk.
But the opposition says the fight's not over.
There will be a next step for some sort of recourse for the neighborhood. I don't think people will just roll over and play dead.
Lauren Bishop for the 9 o'clock Nightly News.
Don't expect developers to break ground for at least a couple of months. They still have to secure financing for that project.
From taxes to jobs, that's where concern is shifting in the mind of the Wisconsin voter. Unemployment edged out rising taxes as the biggest problem in a study conducted by St. Norbert College and Wisconsin Public Radio. Wisconsin has been below the national unemployment average for 49 straight months, but residents are still frightened of the recession. More on the jobless rate across the nation.
And discrimination in business. It comes in our Wall Street Journal report tonight with Consuelo Mack.
More signs of stagnation in the job market. The nation's unemployment rate remains stuck at a 6.5-year high in March, with 9.2 million Americans out of work. Only 19,000 non-farm jobs were added to the economy last month, well below the 45,000 many economists expected. Despite the apparent standstill, economist Robert Bruska says the economy is still recovering.
While the unemployment rate is still very, very high and we did not have a big increase in job growth, the length of the work week is still at a very high level, and that suggests that economic activity is still moving ahead at a fairly brisk pace.
Well, Wall Street shook off an early slump. The Dow gained almost 15 points, posting a gain of 17.5 points for the week. Stock fund investors must be wishing it was still 1991 when stock mutual funds posted gains of almost 36%. But the first quarter of '92 was much rougher. Healthcare funds, the star performers for the last 3 years, slipped over 9.5%. Gold funds continued to lose luster. And international funds slid almost 3%, hit by a weaker yen and a stronger dollar. The winners, financial services funds, which posted average gains of over 6%, and small company stock funds gaining about 3%. And more black Americans are going into business for themselves, but it hasn't been smooth sailing. According to a new Wall Street Journal survey of black entrepreneurs, 62% say discrimination is as prevalent in business as it is in society. 84% call a lack of access to credit and capital their #1 problem. And 60% of black entrepreneurs say there are too few blacks in business to inspire others. For the Wall Street Journal, I'm Consuelo Mack.
Climbing buildings is not for the faint of heart. For those with the nerve, though, there's no age limit, we've learned. Just ask 80-year-old Dot Butler. The Australian granny rappelled off the Sydney Harbour Bridge to celebrate her birthday. The stunt was also part of a new campaign to get Australians to appreciate their elders.
I can guarantee you I will never celebrate my birthday that way. A lot of sports action going on this Friday night.
It really is. We got hoops, we got hockey, we got some baseball coming up. Let's check in with Mike Keegan. It's a busy night.
It'd be nice to be around till you're 85, huh? Then you could climb all the walls you want to. Do anything you want when you're 85 years old. The Bucks on the road again tonight. You know what that has meant. The last 21 times that they went out of the Bradley Center meant the same thing tonight. Went to New Jersey and lost again. 22nd straight loss in a row for the Bucks. The final there, 122-103. We'll have highlights later. We'll also have Admirals highlights. They're finishing out the regular season against Peoria this weekend, playing tonight and tomorrow night at the Bradley Center. Right now, they are in the intermission between periods, 2-2 after 2 down at the Bradley Center. And sometime during this 1992 baseball season, a couple of old friends, Robin Yount and George Brett, will both get their 3,000th Major League base hit. The Brewers worked out this morning at County Stadium. Robin told me 3,000 is nice, but not on high on his or George's priority list.
I've got to know George pretty well over the years, and he's a good friend of mine. Actually, he's one of my favorite players, always has been. I love the way George has played the game throughout his career. To be honest with you, it's going to just be another hit if it in fact comes, but I'm more concerned with playing the games, you know, and if you play long enough and go up to that dish enough times, you know, you should get, you know, that many hits if the at-bats are there. So I really don't look at it like it's anything all that special.
And when the Brewers play the Twins on Monday, it will be Robin Yount's 19th opening day as a Brewer. Robin says opening day is always special.
When the spring training, know that you have a timetable set to, you got to be ready to play on this day, and you're not fighting to make a ball club or something like that. So I've been fortunate in that manner. So I get like 6 weeks to get ready for Monday. So I feel good this year and hopefully ready to go.
Okay, hope all the Brewers are ready to go. They will play the Cubs tomorrow in Chicago, then come back and play Chicago at County Stadium, 1:30. Their final exhibition game, then, of course, open with the Minnesota Twins. Opening day, Monday afternoon. Doesn't that sound nice? Listen, Dwayne?
Boy, does it ever. And I'll be there. Probably sitting in the rain, but Marlon will tell us more about that in a couple of minutes. Also, we've got some news on a new Kennedy conspiracy, but this one does not involve JFK.
That and sound off on the politics of your choice. Hot Phones Friday is on the way.
Why is Tim Dugan running negative ads and distorting Chuck Kahn's record? He talks tough on TV, but the fact is Tim Dugan has never prosecuted or defended a single criminal case. Not one. Chuck Kahn has 17 years of criminal trial experience and a plan to improve Milwaukee's courts and crack down on violent criminals. The choice is clear. Negative ads and no experience, or Chuck Kahn. Endorsed by the Sentinel and law enforcement leaders as the most qualified, Chuck Kahn for judge.
The Toyota factory has announced a price increase on all 92 Toyotas. So this probably means you'll now pay more for a new car at Safro Toyota. Not. Now at Safro, you can beat the price increase on 506 new Toyotas. Safro Toyota planned ahead to make sure they had the car you want before you had to pay more. An unbelievable selection. Safro has something for everyone for less. So come to Jack Safro Toyota where the words price increase don't exist. We'll do whatever it takes to save you money at Jack Safro Toyota.
Boy, these brats are fantastic. Give me another one. Just one? These are real-light brats. They got a lot less fat. Wow, I'll take 5. Yeah, me too.
Abbeyland's Real Light bratwurst taste great. So grill up lots of Real Light brats. You'll love them.
Hey, we're running out. Uh-oh. Bringing in lots of Real Light brats. Got enough now. Maybe. Maybe not.
The two-term governor of California, they called him an outsider because Jerry Brown refused the perks of office and wouldn't take a pay raise. Against conventional wisdom, he took California from the 5th highest tax state to the 24th. He tripled aid to California's public schools and created 25% of all the jobs in the nation, over 2 million new jobs for California. When he left office, Newsweek wrote, "It is unlikely the state will ever have a more scrupulously honest governor."
Now there's a book from Anderson Window Centers that turns windows and patio doors into works of art. For a brilliant composition of sunlight and living space, get brighter home ideas, created by Merida, publishers of Better Homes and Gardens, only at your Anderson Window Center store.
Cedarburg Lumber, Home Lumber Delavan, Berdingham-Hickson Lumber Oconomowoc, and Sun Plywood and Door New Berlin.
Coming up tonight, chocolate wars. Burlington, Wisconsin is king.
First, here's a look at some of the night's other top stories. After 76 hours of frantic searching, a plane that went down on its way from Milwaukee to Sheboygan is found. There were 2 people on board the plane. 1 body has been located. Authorities are not releasing the names of the victims until families are notified. The plane was found in a wheat field north of Port Washington.
Jobs or the environment? That was the way some described the choice put before the Milwaukee City Council. Developers want permission to build a shopping mall, apartments, and a medical facility here. Today they got the okay over objections of those who say it will harm the environment. A Milwaukee alderman is accusing Mayor John Norquist of Chicago-style politics. Alderman Thomas Nardelli wants the city to cancel Election Day parties, planned for city-run housing projects. The city will buy refreshments for residents when they return from the polls. Nardelli says it's a way for Norquist to buy votes.
And we think that that's wrong. It looks like Chicago, it sounds like Chicago, it smells like Chicago, but this is not Chicago, it's Milwaukee. And we think that the mayor ought to call a stop to this immediately because it serves no useful purpose. This is the kind of politics that Milwaukee does not need, does not want.
But a spokesman from the Housing Authority calls Nardelli's charge ridiculous.
What I think is happening in some locations is that they're going to have cookies and punch, so when people come downstairs, if they want to sit and chat with their neighbors and just sort of enjoy the excitement of the day, they can do that and have some cookies and punch while they're there.
Refreshments and entertainment are provided to people wearing an I voted sticker.
We have word that Jerry Brown has not arrived yet at Turner Hall in downtown Milwaukee. He was expected at 9 o'clock. He's obviously running a bit late, but he has agreed to appear here in the 9 o'clock nightly news, and as soon as he gets there, we'll talk to him. A lot of Jerry Brown's appeal has been in his everyman approach. His 1-800 fundraising line boasts that no contributions of more than $100 are accepted. But in an upcoming edition, New York Magazine says callers to the number are given hints about getting around the limit. Here's what happened when a CNN producer called the line.
What if I wanted to give more money?
Well, we're only allowed to accept over, $100.
$100? What is it per person?
Yeah, so if, there's like ways around it. Like if you have like family members, I'm not supposed to tell you that, but in each of their names or something, but like $100 per person. Say if each person in your family wanted to donate $100. It's like you couldn't just write one check for it. It would have to be done, 3 different, you would get 3 different things in the mail to send it back.
The phone bank is manned by a private company hired by the Brown campaign, and a Brown spokesman is saying the campaign can't be held responsible for the actions of another organization. Bill Clinton has had a bumpy run in New York. He was booed yesterday while speaking on Wall Street after he said the stock market tripled during the 80s while working people's wages went down. The Big Apple tabloids have been questioning his character all along, and on a TV talk show, the Arkansas governor asked the media to give him a break by doing a little Elvis.
You know I can be found. That's all I can do. Sitting home all alone. You can't come around. At least please telephone. My message to the New York press. Don't be cruel. But I'm too hoarse.
Clinton did get a boost from the New York Post today. They named him the clear choice over Governor Jerry Brown.
Well, Brown and Clinton battle it out while George Bush staves off a slowing Buchanan campaign. While all this goes on, the voter has to decide.
That's right. The Wisconsin primary is this coming Tuesday. Our Hot Phones Friday question of the night: who are you going to vote for? And, of course, tell us why. Carol, go ahead.
I'm on SSI, and I figured it up with his Jerry Brown thing that I would have to pay them $815, and I wouldn't be able to live with that much. So definitely Clinton is going to get my vote.
Because of the tax issue. Okay.
Thank you.
Linda, what do you think?
I think Jerry Brown is the candidate.
Why?
Because he's a strong person and he's got a serious attitude.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
We've been talking about Democrats mostly because they were in town today. We're also obviously taking calls from Republicans.
Yeah, you can vote.
Ed,
right.
go ahead.
Yeah, I think that Brown's the man, personally.
Okay.
I think that I like his honest campaign, and I think he's done one thing so far that Clinton hasn't, and that's when he's asked a direct question, he's answered it directly, and I like that.
Ed, I'm curious about something. Have you supported Brown all along, or has something about him appealed to you lately?
Well, pretty much from the very beginning, from the first time I heard him give his message.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
What do you think, Ramon?
I think I'm going to vote for Jerry Brown, and that is because he is going to wake up something new about the way politics has been handled in this country for a long, long time.
Jerry Brown is running as an outsider, and he has some ideas that are clearly different. Is there anything about him that concerns you?
Yes, it's just the way he's approaching the presidency, which is pretty controversial, but it's...
He doesn't seem presidential to you? Or?
No, I think he's a new kind of person who's going to run for president, and he's going to be a new president.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Brian, what do you think?
Well, I'll be voting for Perot this time.
Okay.
The Texas billionaire, Ross Perot.
Yes.
Tell us why.
Well, because I think he's for the working man. I don't think that Bush or any of the two Democrats are actually looking out for the middle class this time.
Perot has to get himself on the ballot as an independent candidate. Do you think that that will happen?
Oh, yeah, definitely, because a great number of people that I've been talking to are going to be writing him in on the Wisconsin ballot this Tuesday.
Okay. Thanks a lot for your calls tonight on Hot Phones Friday. It's kind of an interesting response. Some of the latest polls are showing Jerry Brown ahead, but it's going to be obviously a very close race, and we'll have all the election results here at 9 o'clock on Tuesday.
The controversial JFK is in movie theaters now, but John F. Kennedy isn't the only Kennedy whose death left the country asking questions. A former aide to the late Senator Robert Kennedy is calling for a jury probe into his death. The original investigation determined that assassin Sirhan Sirhan killed Kennedy alone. Paul Shady, one of the several people wounded in the shooting, claims the Los Angeles police handled their investigation irresponsibly and claims he has the evidence to prove it. He wants files on the case reopened. And still on the way tonight, we'll travel to a town where folks are always abuzz.
Before that, though, we'll take you to a Wisconsin town, one that won a big, big battle.
I'd like to share a great letter and a great improvement in Depend. Listen. Dear Jim,
when my grandson won his baseball championship, I was so proud, and I couldn't have been there without Depend.
Depend products have double-layered Absorb-Lock Plus. It's our best protection yet. The top layer absorbs, the quilted layer locks liquid away.
June, thanks for one great day at the ballpark.
Isn't that terrific? Get back into life.
It's here, Domino's new, better-tasting pizza.
More melted cheese, big batter toppings, tender, tasty crust. More melted cheese, big batter toppings,
Tender, tastier crust. From this day on, every Domino's pizza is going to be better than ever.
Nobody knows like Domino's how you like more melted cheese, big batter toppings, tender, tastier crust.
Try a medium with unlimited toppings, now just $9.99. Another $4 more.
For as young and tender as premium young and tender brand all natural chicken. No hormones, no preservatives. So stop doing that funky chicken, baby, and do what comes naturally.
Chicken, young and tender chicken. Chicken, young.
As Governor of California, Jerry Brown refused to take a pay raise. He cut taxes for working people, created over 2 million new jobs, and appointed unprecedented numbers of women and minorities. Governor Clinton's Arkansas, a right-to-work state, ranks dead last in worker safety, its wages among the lowest in the country. And while Bill Clinton plays golf at a restricted all-white club, Arkansas remains one of only 2 states with no Civil Rights Act. Now that's slick. But we want real change.
Cons is happy to announce the return of the 2-for sale. When you buy more than one suit, you get both suits for as little as $195. You're interested in sport coats. Buy 2 and get them both for the 2-for price. You want a suit, but you've got a friend who wants a sport coat. You come in together, you still get the 2-for price. But if you want a suit and a sport coat, oh, then forget the friend part and get the 2-for for yourself. Everything in the store is included in the 2-for. Shirts, socks, slacks, ties. So get to Cons before the 2-for is no more.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Hub Chrysler Plymouth North and Hub Chrysler Plymouth South.
So, you want to buy a used car? Maybe something bigger this time, or a little sportier, but at a price you can afford? At Hub Chrysler Plymouth, you can drive out with just the right car. With our huge selection and in-house financing of pre-owned cars that we've thoroughly checked out, you can be assured of a safe, reliable car for you and your family. So come in and stretch us out in the best deal in town. Hub Chrysler Plymouth North, Teutonia just south of Good Hope.
They may be the biggest in America, but when a candy giant picked a fight with a small Wisconsin town, met its match.
After 5 long years, the chocolate war is over. Reporter Dennis Ferrier has more.
Nestle is the major employer in Burlington. 500 people make a living here. But that hardly explains this city's passion for chocolate.
I work in the food industry, but I guess chocolate's got a little more mystique about it than some of the other things in life.
Take artist Doug Lynn. He's building a 2,000-pound chocolate cow for Burlington's Chocolate City Festival.
I had never worked with anything like that before, and it wasn't until we had the first few layers laminated up that I saw how incredibly strong it is and dense of material. And as the further along we went, the better it felt.
And it feels good for most of Burlington. Doug's donating 200 hours of his time, and that's not unusual. People here are inspired by chocolate.
Burlington, Wisconsin is Chocolate City, USA. And Hershey, Pennsylvania wants to take our name away. They can file suit against us and make a silly claim. But we're the home of Nestle's chocolate, and we won't give up our name.
The Chocolate City Man by folk singer Eric Erickson, written at the height of the chocolate war. 5 years ago, Burlington came up with an idea for a festival, a slogan, and a logo. But Chocolate City, USA didn't sit well with Chocolate Town, USA. That's Hershey, Pennsylvania, home of Hershey chocolate, of course.
Write a word of warning, Hershey, and it's more than just a hunch. Try and scare us with your kiss of death, and you'll get the Nestle's crunch.
For the past 5 years, the two cities went back and forth. Bitter feelings and litigation over who's who. But just last week, it all ended. There's a settlement, and Burlington wins. It just has to drop the TM for trademark and one other small thing.
Mention is made of the little curly Q, which becomes, even though it doesn't appear on this as well, we'll have a very pronounced curly Q on it to symbolize the morsel, which is our intent all along, is to symbolize the morsel and not Hershey Kiss, right? Right.
Another part of the agreement with Hershey is a promise not to gloat. We'll see about that one.
Oh, and I was born and raised here, and I sure am proud to say that Burlington, Wisconsin is Chocolate City, USA. Chocolate City.
All right.
Try to get us with your kiss of death, and you'll get the Nestle's crunch. I like that line.
Yeah. Those are my stomping grounds down around there. I went to high school in Union Grove, right nearby. They used to beat us in football all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But not in chocolate eating.
No.
Okay.
Marlon?
I can't go on. I'm just so emotionally moved. But I'll just... No, I will rest easy here. No, some of those corporate wars can get kind of mean. So I'm glad it had a happy ending. And so will this forecast. I'm emotionally drained. I really am. You think I'm kidding?
Just move on.
All right. Right now we have a current temperature reading of 38 degrees. Barometer stands at 79%. Yeah, that's right. Barometer stands, let's start again. All right. Temperature's 38, humidity's at 79%. Please, save those stories till the end. Barometer's at 29.57 and on the way up. Wind out of the northeast. Here we go, at 7 miles an hour under cloudy skies. Whew. Let's take a look at the regional satellite view. Still light rain, not light snow, light rain over the southeastern third of the state, working its way to the south at about 20 to 30 miles an hour. Rain over portions of Illinois and Indiana. Snowfall over portions of Michigan into portions of eastern Ohio and western Pennsylvania and western New York. And if we expand that on the North American satellite view, you can see that cloud area and that snow area goes all the way up to Maine. If we can take a look at the North American satellite view, here's the view, there's Maine, there's the snow, and they have gale force winds all along portions of the New England coast as that last big storm continues to whip into the Maritimes of Canada. Nice over portions of the southeast for once again for the second day in a row. Record-breaking cold temperatures from portions of Carolina where Raleigh-Durham was down at 25 degrees this morning to Athens, Georgia. They were down at 26, and that's the coldest it's ever been in Athens in the month of April. Now, yesterday we talked about Ozark, Arkansas. Today we're talking about Calico Rock, Arkansas. They were down to 21 degrees, and it's just a pretty name for a town. Calico Rock broke their record today. Light snow continues to fall over portions of Colorado, but with the warm air headed that way, a lot of the snow will cause flooding in and around the Durango area and other portions of Colorado because that melted snow has no place to go right now. Thunderstorms over portions of south central Arizona, nice along the west coast. But another storm developing out there. Let's take a look at that on the digital radar. You can see a little bit of rainfall out in the northwest, rain over portions of Illinois, snow over western Pennsylvania and portions of New York. Pretty good showers and thunder showers over southern Florida. West Palm Beach got close to an inch of rain. Miami about a half of an inch of rainfall. Brownsville, Texas, close to an inch of rain from thunderstorms there. You can see those showers down in the southwest as well. Moving on, we'll show you the forecast map for tomorrow morning. Now, the little screamer that turned into a whimper is working its way through our area even as we speak. Pressures are on the rise, but it'll dump heavy snowfall over the eastern lakes from portions of Ohio into Pennsylvania, New York, and then head out to portions of the northeast where they expect more snow. It'll finally clear up in the southeast. We're going to keep our eyes on this developing storm system over the northern tier of states. Cold front works its way all the way back to the west coast. By tomorrow night, storm number 1 moves out, just lingering snow over portions of the middle Atlantic states into the northeast. This storm starts to get better organized. High pressure builds into our area, giving us fair weather for the next couple of days and more rainfall for portions of the Pacific Northwest. Now, by Sunday morning, high pressure builds in. Nice weather here all the way down to portions of Florida. That storm is still out there in the plain states, heading our way. Clouds will start working in probably Sunday night or early Monday, and then rain on opening day. Rainfall over portions of the southern plains, more rain for the northwest. Some of the high temperature readings tomorrow, 78 degrees tomorrow in Miami, 61 in Atlanta, 57 degrees in St. Louis, up to 76. See what I told you out in Denver? 84 degrees in Phoenix tomorrow. Palm Springs will be lovely as ever with temperatures flirting with the 80s. 64 degrees out in San Francisco with partly cloudy skies. I did it last year, and I'll do it every year. The cherry blossoms are in bloom again. Aren't they great? Out in Washington, D.C. Forecast for tonight, low of around 30 degrees. What little rain and snow is in the area will be ending around midnight, clearing late. 44 for a high tomorrow, partly sunny. That's not bad. 52 on Sunday, fair and warmer. I'll repeat that. 52 on Sunday. 60 on Monday, chance of showers. 55 degrees on Tuesday, rain ending. 54 on Wednesday under partly cloudy skies. So we're going to have more spring-like temperatures and with that some spring-like rainfall.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Marlon. Coming up, we've got some sports. Mike Hegan takes a look at an underclassman, says he's ready for the NBA.
We'll have that story and tucking in the weird stories of the week. Stay with us.
Neatness. On April 7th, elect the Honorable Harry Holloway, Judge of Circuit Court 43, endorsed by the Milwaukee Police, Milwaukee Deputy Sheriffs, and the Milwaukee Professional Firefighters Associations, and the UAW. Commissioner Holloway is tough on crime. He is the first judicial officer in the nation to impose a $1 million bail in a drunk driver death case. In 17 years, Holloway has processed over 600,000 judicial proceedings. Vote for Harry Holloway, the only experienced candidate, Tuesday, April 7th.
Hardee's new Western omelet biscuit. I take ham, cheddar, cheese, peppers, and onions, fold them all into a fluffy omelet. So come on to Hardee's for our made-from-scratch biscuit with our new Western omelet in the middle. It's just 99 cents.
Are you ready for some real food? Hardee's.
This plant is in trouble. Maybe so are you. Because what will you do? And how will you do it? With the one who guides you every step of the way. Ortho. It's our nature to help.
Kohl's Night and a Day sale. A sale so big it wouldn't fit into one day, so we made it two. Starting Friday at 4 p.m. until 11 p.m. and continuing all day Saturday, you can get 30% off Kohl's entire stock of Lee jeans for the family.
30% off all Cherokee for Mrs. and Junior.
30% off all Bugle Boy sportswear for men.
Up to 50% off our entire stock of electronics and much, much more.
Including 60 to 70% savings when you take an additional 50% off already reduced Gold Star clearance items.
That's this Friday and Saturday only.
Only at Kohl's Night and a Day sale.
I've got that meeting all morning, so I thought I'd leave you these numbers in case you wanted to get a head start on those reports. Hi, Frank. Anytime tomorrow's fine, as long as it's in the afternoon. I've got a real busy morning, okay? Welcome home. Hope you had a great trip. Don't worry about tomorrow. I'm going to cover the meeting. You owe me one. Guys, everything's set. We're supposed to be there by 8. Ed's making dinner, so you'd better eat before we go. Bye.
Marlon says 60 degrees.
And raining. You can take, you can play through raindrops if they played through snow here before.
Yeah.
I think everybody's getting a little itchy for opening day, though.
I remember an opening day snowed out. 80?
Well, that one was snowed out. I remember back in the 70s where a whole opening series was snowed out, and we had to work out in Madison, but that's another story. A few minor details to take care of, then opening day will be here. The Brewers, little details we're talking about, a home-and-home weekend series with the Cubs. They play in Chicago tomorrow, then back at County Stadium on Sunday. Do it for real with the Twins on Monday. They worked out at County Stadium today. Dwayne Mosley tells us there seems to be a new upbeat attitude under new manager Phil Garner and his coaching staff.
The attitude is exactly that of the 92 Brewers. Perfect when compared to the frame of mind of April 91, where the negatives outweighed the positives.
Everyone's coming in, with the same attitude I think we left Boston with last year, and we were the best team in baseball at that time. Just so happens the season ended too soon, but hopefully we can pick it up right where we left off last year and build from there.
With a smart lineup, says manager Phil Garner, sprinkled with the experience of Molitor, Yount, and Gantner.
We're not going to be an explosive club in the sense that we can sit around and all of a sudden we have a walk, a base hit, and a 3-run homer. Although we can do that on occasions, we can be an explosive ball club in that we can just keep pounding you to death with doubles and triples, and that's what I envision. I also envision that we'll take the extra bases when we need to, put the pressure on the opposition when they make a mistake, and I think in many times we'll force that mistake. We can take advantage of it.
Like all contenders do. See you at the park on Monday. Dwayne Mosley, Super 18 Sports.
Well, the Baltimore Orioles christened a new ball. There it is. The Baltimore Orioles christened a new ballpark today. Beautiful Oriole Park at Camden Yards. The Mets scored a pair of runs off Bob Milwaukee in the first inning. Dave Magadan with a base hit knocks in former Brewer Willie Randolph. That single in left field, but the Orioles come back and win their initial game at that ballpark by a score of 5-3. Well, the Bucks were out to end a pair of streaks tonight in New Jersey. They had lost 6 in a row and 21 straight on the road. Also playing shorthanded with out Jay Humphries and without Frank Burkowski. Big first period for Alvin Robertson. He beats the buzzer right here, or does he? It goes in, it counts, and they're ahead by 1 after 1. Also led by 1 at the half, but that third quarter nemesis came back. Right there, Mookie Blaylock all alone. The Bucks scored just 12 points in the third period. Drazen Petrovic will hit the 3 right here. Getting a little frustrating for the Bucks now. Watch this, tempers beginning to flare between Petrovic and Alvin Robertson, and that was about all the excitement from there to the end of the ball game. The rest of the way, it was all New Jersey Nets on the outlet right here. Mookie Blaylock will make the basket. The Bucks lose 122-103, so it's now 7 straight and 22 in a row on the road. On the Dodge NBA scoreboard tonight, Miami losing to Cleveland 103-100. Washington winner over Detroit. New York beat Atlanta. Chicago leading the LA Clippers 71-66 in the third period. Boston a winner or loser make that over Indiana. Minnesota leading Dallas 73-70 in the third period. And Orlando leading San Antonio 53-47, that game also in the third period. Well, saying college basketball isn't fun for him anymore, LSU All-American Shaquille O'Neal will bypass his senior year and enter the NBA draft. The 7'1" center averaged more than 24 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 block shots for LSU this season before losing to Indiana in the second round of the NCAA tournament.
Anger or frustration, I feel that in my heart it's time for a change and it's time for me to move on.
I'd like to give special thanks to Coach Dale Brown for all he has done. But now I'm ready to take what I've learned on with me to the NBA.
O'Neal finished second to Duke's Christian Laettner in the balloting for the Basketball Player of the Year, College Player of the Year. Laettner winning the Adolph Rupp Award today. Roy Williams of Kansas named the Coach of the Year. He beat out UNLV's Jerry Tarkanian. And tomorrow in Minneapolis, it will be Michigan against Cincinnati, Duke against Indiana in the NCAA basketball semifinals. Tonight, a few thoughts from the participants.
Right now, we're really not concentrating on shocking the world or going down in history.
We're just going to take them as just another team, and we're just going to go out and play as hard as we can play for 40 minutes and not worry about, who they are and what they've become and what they have done.
Hey, you don't make it until you make it, and we made it. It's been a great year for us, and now we have a chance to play 2 ball games. Hopefully we'll get that opportunity, and if we don't go after it big time, then we are really fools, and hopefully we won't be considered fools.
Okay, the Milwaukee Admirals trying to nail down 3rd place in the IHL Eastern Division so they won't have to face 1st place Fort Wayne in the opening round of the playoffs. Admirals finish off the regular season with Bradley Center games against Peoria tonight and tomorrow night. Tough night for Peoria goalie Guy Hebert. Watch Jeff Larmer and Robin Bawa close in on the goal, and Hebert goes flat on his back. He recovers, but not in time here to save this goal from Phil Von Stefanelli. Blasts it past Hebert. Admirals led 1-0 at that time. They are in the 3rd period of that game, and it's all tied 2-2. Well, the leaderboard after the 2nd round of the Tradition Senior Golf Tournament in Scottsdale, Arizona, looks more like a who's who in golf. First of all, look at this shot by Larry Ziegler at the 185-yard par 3 17th hole. Just misses a hole-in-one. Don't know how that missed going in, but it did. Here is Chichi Rodriguez with a birdie putt at 18. It's good, and he takes a 2-shot lead at the time. But Lee Trevino is stalking Chichi. Trevino sinks a birdie putt coming up here, and he has a 3-under par 69. It was the 10th straight sub-70 round for Lee Trevino.
Yeah, do they pay anything for it? If they don't pay anything for it, it don't mean anything.
That he is in 2nd place as we take a look at the leaderboard. There it is. Rodriguez in at 9-under par, Trevino at 8-under. Look at this. Jack Nicklaus 2 strokes back. J.C. Snead and Homero Blancas also 2 strokes back. And I guess we got a little time to talk about the Badgers. They're going to be in the NCAA finals tomorrow night against Lake Superior State, the hockey finals. And that'll be on national television, ESPN at 7 o'clock. So go Bucky, huh?
Yeah, that's really exciting. It seems like it doesn't get enough interest. I know you guys have covered it a lot, but it seems like it doesn't get enough attention.
Well, it's a great accomplishment. Unfortunately, I think sometimes they're 90 miles away, and we don't always get the same interest over here. But there's a lot of interest in Madison, a lot of interest here, too.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
Okay.
Well, once again, some of the most interesting stories of the week aren't the ones that matter much.
That is why the 9 o'clock Nightly News brings you the Friday File. Jeff Stry has this week's collection of the wacky and the weird.
Forget the Final Four. We're in New Orleans, sports fans, for the premier sporting event of the year, Championship Bed Making. That's right, this is serious stuff. Hey, bed making even has its own version of analyst Dick Vitale, baby!
Neatness, number 1. Is the bottom sheet tight? Are the corners mitered?
Love those mitered corners. And here we go.
Here we go! Here we go! Let's go! Let's for these ladies!
Hey, let's look at that again. And we have a winner. Enjoy your victory, bed makers. You've earned it. What's that? You say you don't like making beds, you prefer something with a bit more Velcro? We've got it. David Letterman started the craze. Now Velcro wall jumping has spread to the drinking establishments of Boston.
The idea is to hit the trampoline the best you can and get up as high as you can.
Feeling good, feeling confident, got the rise, gonna be there.
Way to go, dude. Who says white men can't jump? Perks are definitely out on Capitol Hill these days, including free parking for congressmen. But uh-oh, look, a representative forgot and parked his caddy illegally. A crowd of angry taxpayers has gathered. The police are concerned.
This car can't stay here. This is not a good place for this car.
Let's get the boys with the wrenches and we'll get this car out of here piece by piece.
Wow, kind of a tough penalty, but the longer the car sits there, the more its owner is going to lose. Imagine what they would have done to a Japanese car. Finally, remember the good old days when Wienermobiles wandered the streets and hot dog chefs were greeted like visiting heads of state? Me either. But at the Caltech wind tunnel, the Oscar Mayer people are putting the finishing touches on the next generation of Wienermobiles. Think of it as a Lamborghini. Looks like it cuts the mustard. I relish this job. I just hope these puns don't catch up with me. Waka, waka, waka. And that's it from the feature file for now. This is Jeff Stry reporting.
Just a little punchy tonight.